Europe is the cradle of civilization, but behind the familiar tourist routes lies a different reality. 15 mysterious structures scattered across the continent continue to baffle modern science. Stone circles, thousands of years old, silently guard their secrets, refusing to reveal their true purpose. What compelled our ancestors to align these megalithic sites with such precision to the stars? In the shadows of Europe's grand castles, there are constructions about which local residents whisper, "They were not built by humans." Ancient walls, where stone blocks are fitted with such extraordinary accuracy that not even a knife blade can pass between them, pose the question, how was this done without modern technologies? In the enigmatic labyrinths and tombs built by unknown craftsmen, unexplained phenomena are still recorded. Strange sounds, flickering lights, unusual electromagnetic fluctuations. Official science offers us dry facts, but are they convincing in the face of these stone witnesses to ancient mysteries? Let us embark on a journey to the most mysterious places in Europe, where archaeological textbooks are powerless, and ancient stones hold messages that we are just beginning to understand. The first stop in our journey to mysterious places is the legendary Stonehenge, which stands among the green hills of Salisbury Plain in England. This is a place where time seems to have stopped, frozen in stone eternity. Imagine, 4,500 years ago, when the pyramids of Giza were just beginning to be built, here, a monumental complex of many-toned stones was already being erected. In the pre-dawn mist, when the fog rolls across the ground, these ancient columns appear as ghostly sentinels, guarding long-forgotten secrets. Stone blocks, some weighing 40 tons, were transported over a distance of more than 250 kilometers from the limestone of Wales. How? This question has tormented the minds of scholars for centuries. The official version speaks of primitive wooden sledges and thousands of workers dragging the stones across the land. But is this convincing enough? Why do modern experiments to recreate this process often end in failure? Even more astonishing is the astronomical precision of the arrangement of the megaliths. On the summer solstice, the first rays of the rising sun pass perfectly through the so-called gates of Stonehenge, creating a mystical spectacle that cannot be explained by chance. Archaeoastronomers assert that the complex was a unique observatory, allowing the prediction of solar and lunar eclipses. But how could people of the Bronze Age, without writing, possess such deep astronomical knowledge? Some researchers believe that Stonehenge was not just an observatory, but a complex energy structure. Local legends tell of strange phenomena, unexplained sounds resembling singing, emanating from the stones on certain days of the year, strange flashes of light visible at night, unusual sensations experienced by people touching the ancient megaliths. Geophysical studies have shown that Stonehenge is located at the intersection of powerful underground water flows and geological faults, creating a unique electromagnetic field. Could the ancient builders have deliberately chosen this place due to its special energy properties? Another mystery is related to the acoustic properties of the complex. Sound waves, reflecting off the stone surfaces, create a remarkable resonance effect, amplifying certain frequencies. During ceremonies, these sound vibrations could induce participants into an altered state of consciousness. Was this not the true goal of the creators of Stonehenge? To build a unique portal for communication with other dimensions of reality? There is also a more radical theory, suggesting that the technologies used in the construction of Stonehenge were passed down to the ancient people by a more advanced civilization. Some researchers point to the similarity between Stonehenge and other megalithic structures around the world, built approximately at the same time. How can we explain such a global spread of similar architectural ideas in an era when intercontinental travel was considered impossible? Archaeological excavations around Stonehenge continue to bring new mysteries. Recently discovered burials contained the remains of people who had come from afar, from the Alps, from the territory of modern Switzerland. What compelled them to overcome such a vast distance? Were they pilgrims, striving for a sacred place, or bearers of secret knowledge necessary for the construction and operation of the complex? In the year 2020, a group of geophysicists using the latest scanning methods discovered hidden structures under Stonehenge, tunnels, chambers, and other constructions extending deep into the earth. What secrets are hidden in these subterranean labyrinths? What other mysteries does this ancient land hold? Perhaps we stand on the threshold of discoveries that will completely change our understanding of human history. But for now, the stone giants of Stonehenge stand silently under the English sky, guarding their secrets and waiting for someone to finally decipher their stony chronicle. And as we contemplate these mysterious megaliths, it is impossible not to ask, what else is history hiding from us? What other amazing discoveries await us in other corners of ancient Europe? This is not the only mystery that the dark Scottish land conceals. Traveling through the tangled paths of the Isle of Lewis, we encounter another captivating place, the Callanish Stones. This ancient stone circle, which is over 5,000 years old, seems to have stepped out of a fairy tale where reality intertwines with myths. Imagine standing among these magnificent stone giants that tower over the green hills, enveloped in a light mist. Each stone here, as if, holds its own secrets, framed in legends of giants who were turned to stone for their wickedness. According to legend, once there lived powerful giants who, breaking their oath, were transformed into stone for their crimes. But what if this is merely a metaphor, an attempt to explain an extraordinary phenomenon that defies scientific explanation? Archaeologists have yet to reach a consensus on the purpose of this complex. Some believe the Callanish Stones could have served as a site for rituals where ancient tribes gathered for worship or to honor their ancestors. Others point to their astronomical alignment, suggesting they were used to track solar and lunar cycles, similar to Stonehenge. How could ancient people know about such astronomical phenomena without modern technology? Could this be the result of knowledge passed down from a more advanced civilization? Or is there something greater on the Isle of Lewis that escapes our understanding? Geophysical studies have shown that the stone's placement is not random. They stand at the intersection of energy flows, similar to Stonehenge. Local residents tell of strange sensations that arise when approaching these stones. A cold that penetrates to the bones, and a whispering wind that seems to carry the whispers of spirits. But if these stones truly hold the secrets of the past, what do they want to tell us, who live in a different time? Some researchers even suggest that the Callanish Stones could be part of a larger network of megalithic structures connected by both physical and spiritual aspects. Comparing them with similar monuments in other parts of Europe, one might ask, could our ancestors possess knowledge that is now beyond our reach? Or is this merely a game of the imagination trying to fill in the gaps in our understanding of history? No less mysterious is the question of how these massive constructions were built. How could ancient people, without modern tools, have cut, transported, and installed such enormous stone blocks with such precision? Do lost technologies exist, known only to a select few? At present, the Callanish Stones remain silent witnesses to a distant past, and their massive shadows cast on the earth in the light of the setting sun remind us that not everything can be explained. What other mysteries are hidden under the veil of time, waiting for their moment? Perhaps somewhere, in the depths of Scottish forests or along the shores of ancient seas, similar enigmatic places await discovery, filled with ancient knowledge and unsolved mysteries. Are we only scratching the surface of great discoveries that could revolutionize our understanding of human history? This is not the only mystery hidden in the misty expanses of Northern Ireland. Traveling along the coast, we encounter a magnificent and enigmatic structure, the Giant's Causeway. This unique natural phenomenon consists of 40,000 hexagonal columns, as if chiseled from stone by the hands of colossal beings. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, with a massive staircase stretching out before you, leading into infinity, where the waves of the ocean crash against its foundations, creating a melody that seems as ancient as time itself. Scientists assure us that this formation is the result of volcanic activity, when lava, cooling rapidly, formed these ideal hexagonal shapes. But how can we explain the legends that tell of these stones being built by giants who wanted to construct a bridge to Scotland? They say that it was here that the mighty Finn McCool lived, who fought with other giants. What if these tales are based on real events, inextricably linked to ancient cultures that have left their mark on our consciousness? Each column, each stone, seems to whisper the secrets of those times when giants ruled the earth. How could such an advanced civilization disappear without a trace? Were these truly just myths, or do they contain forgotten truths that we have yet to decipher? Local residents still tell stories of how, in the dark night, one can hear muffled footsteps and a sound reminiscent of thunder when the wind passes between the columns. Some researchers claim that the Giant's Causeway could have been not just a natural formation, but part of a more complex system, possibly connected to other megalithic monuments, such as the Callanish Stones on the Isle of Lewis. But what if these enigmatic structures were created not only for human needs, but also for communication with something greater than ourselves? What if ancient people possessed knowledge of the world that has been lost or forgotten over the centuries? Scientific research shows that the structure of these columns is perfectly balanced, raising questions about how the ancient builders could have achieved such precision. Perhaps they used methods that we still cannot explain, or were they part of a broader network of knowledge passed down from generation to generation? Researchers suggest that the Giant's Causeway could have served not only a practical function, but also as a place for ritual gatherings where ancient tribes conducted their ceremonies, possibly in an attempt to establish a connection with the spirits of their ancestors. When we stand among these stone columns, feeling their coldness and majesty, we are left with the question, what else lies beyond the limits of our understanding? How many more secrets lie beneath the surface of time, waiting for their moment? Perhaps somewhere in the depths of the earth or on distant islands, in the shadows of ancient forests, there are similar mysteries, filled with knowledge and unsolved enigmas that one day may change our understanding of human history. Are we merely scratching the surface of great discoveries that could transform our perception of who we are? This is not the only mystery hidden in the depths of the northern waters. Traveling east, we find ourselves on the enigmatic island of Gotland in Sweden, where stone labyrinths, whose age may exceed 3,000 years, are concealed. These mysterious structures, created from massive stone blocks, resemble ancient maps laid out on the ground. But what were they built for? What significance did ancient peoples attribute to them? The labyrinths of Gotland are shrouded in a multitude of myths and legends, and each stone seems to whisper about distant times. Scientists have not yet reached a consensus on the purpose of these labyrinths. Some suggest they served as ritual paths, others as symbols of religious beliefs, and some even believe they were places for meditation and spiritual practices. Entering one of the labyrinths, you feel the cold air, filled with the scent of sea salt, and the sounds of your footsteps, echoing off the stone walls, create an atmosphere as if you are at the heart of an ancient ritual. How could our ancestors create such complex constructions without modern technologies? This both inspires awe and trepidation. Some scientists propose that these labyrinths were connected to astronomical observations and may have served as gathering places for ancient tribes to exchange knowledge about stars and the cosmos. But what is the true history of these stone paths? Studying them, we encounter questions that remain unanswered. What were the ancient builders trying to express? Were they part of a broader cultural context that we still do not fully understand? Research indicates that the labyrinths may be linked to fertility rituals or even the search for spiritual enlightenment. Each turn, each bend, may hide secrets that have been lost over the centuries. Local residents still tell stories of hearing strange sounds at night, as if calls from a distant past, when the wind passes between the stones. The traces of ancient rituals and beliefs, perhaps, still live in these labyrinths, waiting for someone to uncover their secrets. But what if these stone structures were not only places of worship, but also symbols of unity, uniting different tribes and cultures? How much more unknown is hidden beneath the surface of time on this island, where each stone seems to hold the spirit of the ancient? We are only scratching the surface of the mysteries that await their time to be revealed. If the island of Gotland is full of such secrets, what else is hidden on other, even less known lands? Perhaps somewhere in the depths of forests, on forgotten cliffs, or in the shadows of high mountains, there lie similar labyrinths, filled with knowledge and unsolved mysteries, ready to change our perception of human history. Are we on the threshold of great discoveries that could transform our understanding of who we were and who we can become? Hohensalzburg Castle, nestled in the picturesque Alps of Austria, attracts travelers not only with its architectural beauty, but also with its captivating history, which hides a multitude of secrets. Built in the 11th century, this medieval castle, towering over the valley, seems to be a guardian of time, preserving within its walls unusual underground chambers that have become the object of close study by archaeologists and historians. But what secrets are hidden in these dark corridors? What significance do the strange artifacts found here hold, which, according to some researchers, do not correspond to the era of the castle's construction? Imagine, you descend the cold stone stairs, and each of your steps echoes in this ancient labyrinth. The smell of dampness and ancient stone mingles with a faint aura of mystery. In the underground chambers of Hohensalzburg, objects were discovered that, seemingly, belong to other epochs. Some are strange metallic constructions, others are enigmatic stone artifacts that do not fit into the context of the medieval castle. How could these artifacts end up in a place where, according to the majority of historians, time stood still in the Middle Ages? Some researchers suggest that these findings may indicate the existence of an earlier unknown civilization or contacts with other cultures that left their mark in this remote corner of Europe. But how? Could our ancestors have established ties with other peoples about whom we know nothing? In this place where history and myth intertwine, a multitude of questions arise. Local residents tell of strange sounds emanating from the depths of the castle, of ghostly figures that, according to their words, wander the underground chambers, guarding forgotten secrets. Some believe that the castle served not only as a fortress, but also as a place where ancient wise men gathered to study astronomy and magic, trying to decipher the mysteries of the universe. But what is the true nature of these artifacts? Were they part of rituals that were once performed in these walls? Or do they represent something even more mysterious and enigmatic? Research continues, and each new artifact only adds fuel to the fire of speculation about what actually happened in Hohensalzburg Castle. Some researchers believe that the underground chambers may hide not only traces of ancient rituals, but also keys to the deciphering of long-lost knowledge. With each new discovery, we approach an understanding of what may have happened here, but many questions remain unanswered. Hohensalzburg Castle is not just a historical landmark, it is a place where time seems to have stopped, leaving us with riddles that demand answers. How is it that this castle, standing on the threshold of centuries, has become a repository of unsolved mysteries? And what else might history be hiding, waiting for its time to be revealed. Perhaps in other corners of the world, similar castles filled with riddles and artifacts are hidden, which could change our understanding of the past. Are we on the threshold of great discoveries that could turn our understanding of humanity and its place in history on its head? Moving away from the mysteries of the Hohensalzburg Castle, we find ourselves in France, approaching the enigmatic Bruzan dolmens, giant stone tombs that, as they say, were built approximately 5,000 years ago. These massive structures, constructed from enormous stone blocks, carry not only historical significance, but also a multitude of secrets that remain unanswered to this day. How could ancient builders, without modern technologies and tools, create such monumental structures with perfect alignment to celestial bodies? Each dolmen, like a silent witness of past epochs, makes us ponder how little we know about our ancestors and their knowledge. As we approach these ancient tombs, we feel the cold wind wrapping around our faces, and the salty scent of earth and stone fills the air. Massive stone slabs surround us, each one seemingly carefully chosen and cut to create the ideal form for burial. But what secrets lie within these dolmens? Some researchers suggest that these were not merely graves, but sacred places where ancient people communicated with gods or performed rituals connected to astronomy and earthly cycles. There is a theory that dolmens could have served as astronomical observatories, allowing ancient people to observe the movements of celestial bodies. How could such observations be so accurate without telescopes or other modern instruments? Some believe that ancient builders possessed knowledge that was lost or forgotten, perhaps even knowledge passed down from more advanced civilizations. But this is not the only mystery associated with the Bruzan dolmens. Local legends tell of these stone tombs serving as places where the spirits of ancestors communicated with the living. Perhaps that is why ancient people strove to build such magnificent structures to preserve their connection to the world of the dead. How is it that these dolmens have remained unchanged over the centuries, despite all the changes around them? Some archaeologists studying these sites note strange engravings and symbols on the dolmens that cannot be explained by modern knowledge. These signs may be codes or messages from a distant past, waiting for their decipherer. What are their true meanings? Other researchers propose that dolmens could have served not only as burial places, but also as meeting places for ancient tribes who used them for rituals or gatherings related to important events in their lives. But how could people living at that time organize such complex social structures? The Bruzan dolmens are not just monuments of the past. They are gates to a world filled with inexplicable mysteries and enigmas that evoke both awe and wonder. Although we can only speculate about the circumstances of that distant era, one thing remains clear. The history of these dolmens continues to remain unsolved, and their mysteries await their time to be revealed. Perhaps in other corners of the world, similar stone structures hide secrets capable of changing our understanding of ancient civilizations and their knowledge. Are we not on the threshold of great discoveries that could lead us to new truths about our past and its connection to the present? Moving through the enigma of the Bruzan of dolmens, we are heading into the misty realms of Scotland, towards the mysterious submerged ruins of Loch Oich. This place, shrouded in legends and myths, conceals within its waters the remnants of megalithic structures from ancient times, which, it seems, have exhausted their secrets. But in reality, they merely await discovery. How were such massive constructions built, and what prompted the ancient people to leave their traces in this lake, about which there are no mentions in chronicles? Loch Oich, with its tranquil surface and ominous depths, is not just a body of water. It is a repository of forgotten histories that have eluded our understanding. Water, as if trying to hide its secrets, washes over the stone blocks that, according to some researchers, could have been part of sanctuaries or even entire settlements that existed long before our time. But what were their motivations for creating them? Why did the ancient builders choose precisely this place, surrounded by dark forests and high mountains? Some theories suggest that Loch Oich might have been a sacred place where rituals connected to the water element and its deities took place. Perhaps it was here that ancient tribes sought protection and blessing from the forces of nature. But what do we know about their beliefs and customs? Research shows that in this region, complex societies existed, but their connection to the submerged ruins remains unclear. Some archaeologists suggest that these structures could have been part of a larger system connected to other megalithic sites across Europe. How were they connected? There are hypotheses that bridges or roads connected Loch Oich to other sacred places, creating a network that could have served for the exchange of knowledge and rituals. But how could these ancient cultures organize such complex transportation routes without modern technologies? In recent decades, thanks to new research methods such as laser scanning and underwater archaeological expeditions, scientists have begun to uncover new facts about the submerged ruins. However, despite all efforts, the purpose of these megaliths remains shrouded in mystery. Some believe they could have been used as astronomical observatories, allowing the ancients to observe stars and predict changes in nature. But how is this possible without precise instruments? On the bottom of Loch Oich, there may not only be stone constructions, but also artifacts that will tell us about the lives of those who once inhabited these shores. There are speculations that in this place, there could have been monuments dedicated to great leaders or events that changed the course of history. What were their stories? But despite all these studies and theories, the mystery of the submerged ruins of Loch Oich remains unsolved. Perhaps in the future, we will be able to unravel this puzzle. But for now, it is just another page in the book full of secrets and unanswered questions. Remembering Loch Oich, we cannot help but wonder, how many more submerged secrets await their time on the bottoms of lakes and rivers around the world? How many more unexplored places hide on our planet, ready to reveal their ancient secrets to those who dare to delve into their depths? Moving away from the mysteries of the submerged ruins of Loch Oich, we are heading towards the distant France, to the magnificent dolmens of Carnac. These enigmatic stone complexes, consisting of thousands of megalithic constructions, were built more than 6,000 years ago and continue to captivate the minds of archaeologists and researchers. How could ancient people create such grand structures, which not only impress with their scale, but also raise numerous questions about their true purposes? Carnac, with its magnificent menhirs and dolmens, is not just an archaeological monument. It is a unique temple of time, preserving the secrets of long-gone civilizations. Each stone here, like an encrypted message, invites us to decipher its meaning and understand the role it played in the lives of ancient people. The layout of these massive stone structures causes bewilderment. How could ancient builders, without modern technologies, achieve such precision and symmetry? Some scholars suggest that the dolmens of Carnac could have served not only as burial sites, but also as astronomical observatories, allowing the observation of celestial bodies. But how is this possible without modern instruments? Perhaps the ancients knew more about the stars and their influence on life than we can imagine. Additionally, there is a hypothesis that the dolmens were part of a larger network of sacred places connected by ritual paths. But what were these paths like? And how did ancient peoples use them? Some researchers assert that Carnac was the center of ancient cults connected with natural forces and deities, and that important rituals were performed here, which could change the course of history. However, despite the multitude of theories, the true purpose of these dolmens remains a mystery. It is clear that their architecture and layout speak of a high level of organization and knowledge of the ancient people. But what exactly were they trying to convey to us? Some believe that the dolmens could have been a means of communication with otherworldly forces, perhaps even with the spirits of the ancestors. How could they interact with a world that we barely understand today? Recent studies conducted using modern technologies such as georadar and 3D modeling have opened new horizons for the study of these megaliths. However, despite all the efforts of scientists, many aspects of their purpose and meaning remain unclear. Immersing ourselves in the study of the dolmens of Carnac, we understand that each of these stone constructions is not just an artifact, but a key to unraveling ancient mysteries. And yet, despite all our knowledge and research, the mystery of the dolmens of Carnac remains open. Perhaps it is precisely in this that their magic lies, in the fact that they continue to attract the attention of researchers and adventurers, waiting for someone to decipher their secrets. So, how many more such mysteries are hidden in the depths of our planet? How many more dolmens, menhirs, and other ancient structures await their time to reveal to us the secrets of their ancient inhabitants and their enigmatic culture? On these questions, we may never receive answers, but it is precisely in this that the charm of ancient mysteries lies, which continue to draw us into their embrace. Moving away from the enigmas of the dolmens of Carnac, let us now head north, to the heart of Sweden, to the mysterious stone ship of Aelle, which is located in Skåne. This megalithic construction of extraordinary form, approximately 60 meters long, captivates researchers with its enigmatic allure, raising numerous questions about its true nature and purpose. How could such a massive structure have been created by ancient people? And what did it symbolize in their culture? The stone ship of Aelle, composed of enormous stone blocks perfectly fitted together, appears to be frozen in eternity, ready to set sail into the unknown. Some researchers suggest that this structure could have served as a tomb, while others are convinced that it was a temple or sanctuary dedicated to ancient gods. But how exactly was this enigmatic stone used? Additionally, there is a theory that Aelle could have been a symbol of the path of life, reflecting the ancient beliefs about the world beyond and the earthly world. But how could ancient peoples have combined these concepts into a single structure? Diving into the study of this unique monument, we encounter a multitude of questions, for which there are no clear answers yet. Some archaeologists, studying the stone ship, have found traces of rituals that were performed here thousands of years ago, which raises even more questions about the religious practices of the ancient inhabitants of the region. Were they seafarers, as the form of the construction might suggest? Or was it merely a symbolic expression of their beliefs about life after death? The strange symbols and images found around Aelle also add intrigue to this enigmatic place. What was their significance, and why were they chosen to adorn this megalith? It is possible that the stone ship of Aelle served as a transitional space between the real and the otherworldly, connecting ancient beliefs and practices with the inexplicable forces of nature. Yet, despite all these theories, the stone ship of Aelle remains a mystery that continues to captivate and intrigue. Its majestic appearance and hidden content inspire not only scholars, but also ordinary people who come here to touch its history and try to unravel its secrets. How could such a construction have remained unnoticed for centuries, and why is information about its purpose still so limited? We know that in Europe there are many similar megalithic monuments, but the stone ship of Aelle stands out with its unique form and atmosphere. Could it be that it is just one of many similar artifacts waiting for their time to reveal their secrets? How many more such enigmas lie hidden in the depths of our planet, waiting for someone to decipher them and understand the role they played in the lives of ancient people? This is the magic of such places as the stone ship of Aelle. They remind us that our history is full of unsolved mysteries, and that every stone, every crack in the earth can tell its story, if only we are willing to listen. So how many more stone ships lie forgotten in the depths of forgotten forests and hills, waiting for their discovery? This thought leaves us in anticipation that perhaps one day we will be able to touch the ancient secrets that still remain beyond our understanding. Moving away from the enigma of the stone ship of Ailey, let us embark on a journey to the solar Liguria, where ancient dolmens, standing sentinel over time, captivate the attention of both local residents and researchers. These massive stone portals, carved from heavy blocks, whose origins are lost in the depths of time, evoke genuine awe and reverence. How could such grand constructions remain unnoticed over centuries? Local residents tell tales that these dolmens are not mere stones, but gates to other worlds, to mysterious kingdoms where the spirits of ancestors dwell. How many secrets lie hidden behind their massive walls, and what could they reveal if only they could speak? These structures, towering against the backdrop of picturesque hills and olive groves, fill the atmosphere with an unusual magic that makes us ponder the ancient cults that created them. But what was the true purpose of the dolmens? Some researchers believe they served as tombs for nobles and priests, while others suggest they were sanctuaries for rituals connected to life and death. Perhaps they were places of worship where ancient people could establish contact with gods or spirits. How did this happen? Such questions linger in the air as we gaze at their majestic outlines. Archaeologists studying these monuments find traces of ancient rituals, burnt offerings, pottery shards, and symbolic images that can tell us about the religious practices of those times. Yet, despite all efforts, we still cannot provide a definitive answer to the question of what these dolmens meant to their creators. How could ancient people, with primitive tools, create such gigantic structures that continue to amaze us with their perfection? Some believe this was connected to ancient legends of divine inspiration, which may have enabled them to undertake such grand projects. But where did this power come from? Moreover, there is a theory that dolmens not only served as burial places, but also had a special energetic significance. They may have been places of power where the worlds of the living and the dead intersected. How is this possible? Some researchers are convinced that these places were chosen not by chance, but because of their location on magnetic lines of the Earth, creating a special atmosphere that could influence people. But can this explain all the mysteries they hold? We can only imagine how many secrets and unsolved mysteries lie buried beneath the layers of earth around these dolmens, waiting to be revealed. How strange to know that in every crack of stone, a history that was once important to the people who inhabited these lands may be hidden. And what can we learn about them if we can decipher these ancient messages? This is the magic of the dolmens of Liguria, inviting us to explore, ask questions, and seek answers. How many more dolmens are hidden in other corners of the world, waiting for someone to uncover their secrets and share their discoveries with us? These questions remain unanswered, leaving us in anticipation of new horizons in the study of ancient civilizations and their mysterious practices. Moving from the enigmatic dolmens of Liguria, let us now venture into the mysterious world of the cromlech of Almendris in Portugal, one of the oldest megalithic structures in Europe, older even than the famous Stonehenge. Here, amidst the picturesque hills and green meadows, lies this mysterious place, shrouded in legends and myths, which has attracted the attention of researchers and adventurers for centuries. But what secrets does this cromlech, composed of massive stone blocks arranged in a circle, hide? Local residents assure us that these stones are not merely lifeless boulders, but true guardians of ancient secrets that come to life in the darkness of night. They say that during a full moon, one can see these living stones slowly moving, leaving strange traces on the ground. How can such phenomena be explained? Perhaps it is merely the product of the imagination of local residents. But what if there is something more? Archaeologists conducting excavations at this site have found traces of ancient rituals, tools associated with sacrifices, and even mysterious amulets left by worshippers. What was the true purpose of this cromlech? Some researchers believe that it served as a meeting place for ancient tribes who gathered here to perform rituals aimed at strengthening their connection with the spirit world. But where did this tradition come from? Such questions remain unanswered, plunging us into an atmosphere of mystery. Moreover, the cromlech of Almendras, with its ideally arranged stones, raises many questions about the technologies available to its builders. How could people with limited tools create such a magnificent structure? Some researchers suggest that the cromlech may have played the role of an astronomical observatory, allowing ancient people to track the movements of celestial bodies. But how is this possible if there were no modern instruments? And once again, before us, a question arises. What is hidden behind this ancient structure? Diving into the depths of historical records, we encounter enigmatic mentions of cromlechs in myths and legends. They say that it was here that rituals were performed to establish a connection between the living and the dead, and to open doors to otherworldly realms. How could ancient people understand the nature of these stones and their power? Perhaps they possessed knowledge that we cannot fully appreciate and understand in our modern world. But what was their true essence? Some believe that these stones were not merely places of worship, but living beings capable of influencing the fates of people. And as strange as this may sound, such ideas continue to stir the minds of modern people. What significance did these living stones hold for the ancient inhabitants of these places? Each stone placed in the circle could hold a history waiting to be revealed. And what can we learn about ancient rituals and beliefs if we can decipher these mysterious messages? Each step on this ancient site fills us with a sense of awe and expectation, as if the stones themselves whisper their secrets to us. But despite all the research, the cromlech of Almendras remains a repository of unsolved mysteries. How many more enigmas are hidden in other corners of the world, waiting to be discovered and explored? These questions remain unanswered, leaving us in anticipation of new discoveries in a world full of ancient secrets and magic. Moving from the Almenares, let us delve into the mysterious world of Muralla de Valbona in Spain, a remarkable structure that is the subject of disputes and legends. This ancient fortress wall, towering over picturesque landscapes, not only protected local inhabitants from enemies, but also became the object of numerous myths. It is intriguing that the origin of this wall is officially unrecorded, and no one can confidently say when and by whom it was built. Local residents, however, are convinced that this wall possesses some mystical property. They claim that it grows on its own. How can such extraordinary phenomena be explained? Perhaps they are merely legends born of fear of the unknown. Or perhaps something greater lies behind them. Research conducted by scientists has revealed many facts about the construction of the wall, but none of them can shed light on its true origin. It consists of massive stone blocks that seem to have grown together, creating the impression that they have always been there. But how could these stones have ended up in their places? Some archaeologists suggest that unknown technologies were used for their construction, about which we know nothing. However, this is not the only thing that raises questions. It is said that for many years local residents have observed how the wall changes its form, as if under the influence of unknown forces. How is this possible? A scientific explanation may be related to natural phenomena, but many prefer to believe in magic that surrounds this place. What is the essence of these changes? Perhaps each stone contains a history that awaits its time to be revealed. Muralla de Valbona attracts the attention not only of historians, but also of adventurers seeking to uncover its secrets. Some suggest that the fortress wall could have served as a symbol of protection, while others speak of its ritual purpose. What was its true meaning for the ancient inhabitants of these places? Researchers continue to conduct excavations and analyze findings, but the mystery remains unsolved. Perhaps this place holds ancient prophecies or knowledge that has been lost to time. Local legends tell of how the wall could have been connected to cults that worshipped natural forces. How could the ancient inhabitants understand the mysteries of their surroundings so precisely? What was their perception of a world filled with magic and mystery? With each step on this ancient site, we immerse ourselves in an atmosphere of mystery and expectation, as if the stones themselves whisper their secrets to us. Despite all the efforts of researchers, Muralla de Valbona remains full of unsolved mysteries. How many more such enigmas are hidden in other corners of the world, waiting to be discovered? These questions remain unanswered, leaving us in anticipation of new discoveries in a world full of ancient secrets and magic. It seems that the history surrounding this wall will never be fully revealed, and perhaps it is precisely this that gives it its special atmosphere of mystery. How many more secrets are hidden in the depths of our planet, ready to astonish us with their grandeur and magic? This is not the only mysterious structure that holds us captive with its secrets. Let us travel to France, where the giant menhir of Menhir de Chane stands, a colossal stone construction weighing more than 300 tons, erected in ancient times. How could such a grand stone have been moved and installed without modern technologies? This riddle has puzzled historians, archaeologists, and lovers of antiquity for centuries. Imagine, a massive menhir, about 7 meters tall, rises above green meadows, like an ancient sentinel watching over boundless spaces. But how did it get there? Official sources claim that the menhir was installed more than 4,000 years ago, but the details of its transportation remain shrouded in mystery. How did ancient people manage to move such a heavy object without modern machinery? Some scholars suggest that they used simple tools and natural forces, such as water and wooden logs, to roll the enormous stone. But this is merely a hypothesis. How could this feat of engineering have been accomplished? There are also more mystical explanations. Some researchers believe that the menhir could have been installed according to ancient astronomical calculations, which would imply a high level of knowledge among ancient people in the fields of astronomy and geometry. How could they have so accurately aligned their constructions with the stars? Perhaps this place had a ritual significance, and the menhir served as a sacred symbol connecting the heavens and the earth. Local legends speak of the stone not just as an object, but as a unique portal through which ancient people could communicate with the spirits of their ancestors. What was the perception of these people who believed in the power of stones and their connection to the spirit world? The enormous weight and size of the menhir raise numerous questions, from technical to philosophical. How was it installed with such precision? Some archaeologists suggest that ancient builders used a system of channels and levers. But how could they have accomplished such complex work without modern tools? This causes both awe and bewilderment. Perhaps the main mystery of Menhir de Chane lies in the fact that it not only demonstrates the power and diligence of its creators, but also prompts us to reflect on how much we still do not know about our ancestors and their achievements. However, if we consider this mystery from a different perspective, we can notice that Menhir de Chane is not just a stone. It has become a part of cultural heritage, reflecting the ancient beliefs and customs of the people who created it. Perhaps its true meaning lies precisely in this. What significance is hidden in its massive form? And what can it tell us about the time when the earth was inhabited by mysterious beings who left us only hints of their existence? Every day, when we look at this monument, we cannot help but ask, how many more menhirs are hidden in the depths of our planet, waiting to be discovered? Perhaps they hold ancient knowledge and wisdom that could change our understanding of history. Menhir de Chane is just one of many mysteries left to us as an inheritance. And like all true mysteries, it keeps us searching for answers that may never be found. How many more secrets are hidden in our world, And how little do we know about those who lived here long before us? These questions remain open, just as the menhir itself, which seems to hold a silent answer to the eternal mysteries of human history. This is not the only place where mysterious structures evoke wonder and bewilderment. Let us travel to Italy, to the picturesque region of Valle d'Iria, where enigmatic cave temples are located. Underground cult complexes that astound with their extraordinary precision and craftsmanship. These temples, carved directly into soft limestone, seem to have descended from the heavens to tell us about a culture of which we know so little. How could ancient builders create such complex and harmonious structures without the use of modern tools and technologies? Each curve and each corner of these temples appears to breathe history, whispering to us about secret rituals conducted here in ancient times. Some studies suggest that the builders possessed knowledge that is lost to us today. How could they have so accurately calculated acoustics and lighting to create the right atmosphere for worship? This inspires awe and raises questions. Did this civilization indeed possess unique knowledge inaccessible to modern people? Legends of the local inhabitants tell of the temples being places where important rituals were held, connected to the veneration of gods and ancestors. Imagine people gathering in these dark and mysterious halls to hear ancient tales and rituals that connected them with the power of earth and sky. But what actually happened in these sacred places? Some researchers believe that the temples could have served as astronomical observatories, given their layout and construction, which allow for precise observation of celestial phenomena. How could ancient people have created such complex structures, knowing about the movement of stars and planets as if they were part of a single whole with the cosmos? Scientific research shows that the age of these temples may exceed thousands of years, and their construction continues to amaze even modern architects. But what happened to their creators? How could such a developed culture disappear, leaving behind only the shadows of their great achievements? Some suggest that the inaccessible nature of these temples and their hidden locations could be part of a deeper plan, possibly connected to rituals or sacred knowledge. But these are only speculations. What would it be like to return to that time and see these magnificent temples filled with the light of candles and the whisper of prayers? With each step along these ancient stone corridors, we feel as if time has stopped, and we are immersed in a world where reality intertwines with mysticism. No matter how we try to explain these engineering marvels, one unchanging truth remains. The mysteries of Valle d'Iria continue to remain unsolved. How many more hidden underground temples, filled with ancient knowledge and magic, may exist in the world? Perhaps they await discovery to once again tell us about the great civilizations that once inhabited this earth. Each day when we ponder such places, we cannot help but ask, how much more do we not know about our past, and what secrets of time are hidden within the depths of the earth, waiting to be revealed? These questions remain unanswered, just as the temples themselves, which seem to hold within them a multitude of enigmas capable of changing our perception of history. Diving into the world of ancient mysteries, we find ourselves in the heart of Rome, at the catacombs of Domitilla, one of the most enigmatic and ancient places, preserving the echo of vanished epochs. These subterranean labyrinths, stretching for kilometers beneath the city's surface, are not only architectural marvels, but also a significant part of Christian history, which remains shrouded in mystery and wonder. Their origins, as well as many other aspects of early Christian history, remain partially veiled in secrecy. The catacombs of Domitilla are older than the first written accounts of Christian communities, raising numerous questions. How could these underground sanctuaries survive through the centuries, remaining forgotten and ignored? What secrets do their dark corridors and enigmatic niches hide? Delving deeper into these mysterious catacombs, we can sense an atmosphere permeated not only by history, but also by mysteries. Soft light from lanterns illuminates massive stone walls, on which ancient frescoes depicting the lives of early Christians have been preserved. These images, executed with remarkable precision, seem to come alive, and we begin to suspect the secrets they might reveal. What does each line, each stroke, mean? What stories do they tell about faith, suffering, and hope of those who sought refuge from persecution? Some researchers suggest that the catacombs may have served not only as burial places, but also as spaces for secret gatherings and rituals. In the face of persecution, early Christians sought refuge in these subterranean labyrinths, where darkness and silence created ideal conditions for prayer and fellowship. How could these people, subjected to oppression and threats, find comfort and strength in such gloomy and intricate places? This evokes admiration and genuine interest in how faith can overcome any obstacles, even those embodied in stone walls carved into the rock. However, it is not only faith and hope that make the catacombs of Domitilla so mysterious. Their architecture is breathtaking. Narrow passages leading to vast halls filled with numerous niches for burials. Some of these niches are adorned with symbols whose meanings remain a subject of debate among scholars. What were the ancient craftsmen trying to convey with these enigmatic images? Some researchers suggest that they were signs indicating affiliation with a particular community, or symbols protecting the peace of the deceased. Regardless of their purpose, the catacombs are not just remnants of ancient culture, but also a sacred place where the lines of faith and history intersect. Each step along these ancient corridors gives us the opportunity to connect with those who lived here many centuries ago, and to ponder how their lives and faith continue to influence us today. But how could these catacombs, with such profound significance, remain in the shadows for so long? What were their true functions and purposes in those distant times when Christianity was just beginning its journey? Research shows that the catacombs of Domitilla were not the only subterranean structures in Rome. The city is undoubtedly filled with secrets and mysteries waiting to be revealed. How many more similar catacombs lie hidden beneath our feet, awaiting discovery and exploration? Perhaps we are only scratching the surface of what is truly hidden beneath the earth. Each time we contemplate such places, we cannot help but ask, what other mysteries does Rome conceal, and how many of them still await unraveling? The secrets of the catacombs of Domitilla remain unsolved, leaving us in a state of bewilderment and admiration, and perhaps they only hint at the great unfinished stories that still await their time to be told. Europe is not just modern cities and resorts, but also a continent full of the secrets of ancient civilizations that are still waiting for their time to be revealed. Every stone, every path here holds the echo of forgotten history, and the underground labyrinths and architectural wonders, reminiscent of the catacombs of Domitilla, serve as a reminder that the world around us is full of mysteries and riddles that may never be solved. We have traversed moments of confusion, explored dark corridors where the wind whispers, and now stand on the threshold of new discoveries. How many more secrets do not only the catacombs but also the old castles, ancient temples, and forgotten cities still keep, which carefully preserve memories of those who lived here thousands of years ago? Your eyes and ears can become witnesses to these stories if you decide to immerse yourself in their world. Thank you for being with us on this exciting journey through the most mysterious places in Europe. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new releases about mystical and ancient places on our planet. Write in the comments which structure you would like to see with your own eyes. Perhaps it will become the next object of our research. How many more unsolved mysteries does Europe hide, and what greatness awaits to be revealed? We invite you to new adventures that will tell about ancient civilizations and their mysterious heritage. Stay with us, and let's continue exploring a world full of mysteries.